let anybody look at me there. Sorry, that's just, I don't know why it's such a gross area, because that area, part of the body can stink because of what comes out of it, because it's just waste from your body after digesting it. It's not a very common topic. It is in the medical world, but when it comes to like people talking about it socially, it's almost like a taboo subject, and people don't want to know or talk about that because it's just, I don't know, gross. Just like when I've had to talk about hemorrhoids, trying to get my service connection because I got a couple of them, mostly internal. But yeah, not a very good thing to want to have to talk about. Not that I'm trying to break any stigma by any means, I'd rather not talk about it, but it is worrying me because it's telling me that my tethered cord is progressing. And I don't know what I'm going to do without my chiropractor. Besides just suffer, and they're going on vacation. I can't stop them from going on vacation. Can't stop them from ever getting sick, and I only see this one chiropractor. I cannot go to another one. I'm a little emotional this morning because I'm still trying to process this information. And it's upsetting. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that, something going on with their bowel. So, I'm on my way to go get my EMG, which I thought was the same thing as a nerve conduction study because that's what I told them I needed. According to my mom, before I left, they're different. So now I'm just confused and I'm in a brain fog haze from sleep. My brain does not fully function or wake up or really start winding up. I'm just more natural a night person. But also I have insomnia. So I'm in pain, so it makes it hard to sleep. But when I get so exhausted like I have been this week from the lack of sleep, I zonk out. And I needed to zonk out for longer. My body's still not really rested all the way. It needs to heal from everything that I've put it through over the week with the lack of sleep. There's just not enough time in the freaking day to get everything done. And only I can get a lot of this stuff done. Only me. At least today is more of an admin day after this appointment. I swear to goodness, my mom better not try to freaking put any tasks on me today. She's really notorious for finding things for me and my dad to do. After having spent time with the guys yesterday and how relaxed and chill things are. Don't get me wrong, I love my mom. She just, we butt heads a lot of the time. We have ever since I was a baby, basically, a kid. That got worse as a teenager, and now as an adult, I have boundaries. And I'm trying to maintain healthy boundaries with my mom. While living in the same house. And like I said, if it wasn't for my mom, I don't have the support, but I don't have all the nurturing support that I would want from my mom. So I really do have mom issues. Like, I don't get the support in every way that I need because she just doesn't know how to regulate her own emotions. She just doesn't know how to regulate herself. And she doesn't intend to do any kind of therapy or any kind of anything to help herself in that aspect. She is who she is, and there's nothing I can do to change her. As much as I have begged and pleaded her, go to therapy because it would help our relationship a lot. It's just not something that she's going to do. And you can't force somebody to do something. And if I did try to force her, she would go and she would just not muscles or whatever the EMG is going to test. So I just woke up with pain, and it'll go away throughout the day because I'll be able to like busy myself with other things and phone calls. I'm so used to being defensive, aggressive mode. Aggressive, defensive mode. Maybe that's not right. More aggressive. I'm not passive about it by any means. So I'm not passive aggressive, but I'm aggressive. I don't know what I was trying to say. Yeah, I went back to my old drinking habits of Red Bull. It was only because I needed one yesterday for how early it was. Me and my dad waking up at 2:30 in the morning to make it to the coast to go fishing to be on the boat by 5:30. It was rough, buddy. It was really rough. All these stupid trucks in this lane. This lane, so maybe I can get over there faster. I have to merge over into the left lane. There we go. Get out of my way, traffic. Chronically happy is in a hurry, guys. I want to get this damn test over with so I can take my meds. So I can stop this inflammation from this pain right now. But I'm going to be extremely drowsy when I take it today because I'm still tired from this week. I'm exhausted. My fatigue is high. I don't know how I'm going to do my phone calls today. I told myself I was going to be off today, but my mind is just too worried. I'm hypochondriac like that. Yeah, I admit I have times where I'm hypochondriac, but I have to be. I have to be because of all the things that could go wrong with my body. Because of one little thing, and it's a cascading snowball effect. And it just gets bigger and bigger and falls down and falls down and goes downhill. It's a downward spiral. And it is essential. It is essential for me to have a positive attitude because that spiral can take me into a dark, deep hole. Not to the point where my mortality is at stake. I will never do that. I will always fight for my life. But it doesn't mean I can't get super, super depressed and get like really morbid about it. But in order to maybe help me cope some, and to help my friend Celia cope, we are going to start that new series education by listening and, giving empathy and compassion to the person. Sometimes I am too empathetic, and I do have to have my barriers and my walls up because I am too much of an empath. That's why, I get told all the time I'm a great social worker. Well, I kind of am being a social worker on my own time, and I'm not getting paid for it. I'm doing it out of the kindness of my heart. Just like there's volunteers that help veterans win their VA cases because they're either veterans themselves and they know how to navigate the system, and so they help others navigate the system. But with me being a veteran, I have a hard time helping civilians out because healthcare is completely different across the board when it comes to Medicare, Medicaid, VA, Oregon Health Plan, and then each state has their own kind of medical program. So, and they all have different stipulations, similar but different, because they all have to follow federal guidelines of some sort, but each state interprets things just like in a religion. It depends on how you interpret the Bible and how a preacher or a priest or whoever, communicates the Bible verses, and I forget, my brain is escaping me right now about the correct term. They're sermons. A sermon can be completely different from one Christian church to another, or an LDS or to another. And I know that people will switch up their sermons, and they will allow other people to give their own sermons and this and that. Excuse me. I had to throw that in there. Hope you're watching this, double A. My hock toi. I really do. My sinuses are draining right now. I did my sinus rinse, so excuse me for the gross sounds. Those sounds, I used to have what is that phobia, or what is that thing called, where it's like you're grossed out by certain sounds. Damn it, the term's escaping me there too, because I didn't know it was a thing, and I found out about it not too long ago, and I'm like, oh, that's a thing? Dang. I've had that before with certain sounds. It's almost like the sounds of nails on a chalkboard. It makes people cringe. They hate the sound. Yeah, well, I have that same issue with certain things. And that would be the phlegm in the throat. And it only got to be really bad for me because my uncle Norman lived with us when I was a teenager in high school. When our house was so chaotic, guys. So I have a brother that's 4 years older than me. And he had a really good, how he attracted Mormons, I'm not quite sure. But he was a Mormon lover for sure. They were friends in high school. There's nothing wrong with that either. I'm not trying to insult anybody at all by any means. But it's kind of ironic that he has several friends that were in that religion or associated with them. But also his friends and girlfriend at the time. So we had my brother, my mom and dad, my brother's friend Glenn, and my brother's girlfriend Melissa, and then my uncle Norman, all living in a 3-bedroom house. And we also had a trailer sitting in the driveway. So at one point, my brother and his girlfriend at the time, who we ended up marrying and having kids with and then divorcing, I'm not trying to be too specific with names because it's none of my business to talk about other people. But it's not in a negative light by any means. It's just explaining the situation that I was in. Just to give some context here. So there were that many people, and Glenn liked me. He always told me I could be a model, but also him and my brother would bully me and say that I was gonna, I was an F up. I was gonna end up pregnant and hooked on major drugs, and they were with his friends. But his friend also was kind to me at times. So Glenn was also almost sometimes more of a better, bigger brother than my own brother at times. And little did we know that my brother had Asperger's. So it all makes sense now. I'm putting it into that context. I totally get it. Whoa. Sorry about that, guys. Had to make a sudden turn. I'm just not used to going this direction. I will indulge my story. This is what happens when I'm tired. Anyways, I'm almost to my location, so I'm going to be a little bit early. I'm going to be there 15 minutes in advance just to fill out the paperwork that I need to do. What is so nice about the VA, and I am a little spoiled with it, is I never have to fill out the paperwork when I do stuff. They do it for me. It's lovely. So I hate it when the VA gets cutbacks. Is it on the right? Yeah. Alright, I gotta look out here. There it is. I see the symbol. I saw it online when I was looking it up. The address. I've only been here one time before, and I don't like this doctor. I don't like him. The guy that's doing my EMG, don't like him. I asked if there was anybody else to do this test, and there was not. And so, and that's the reason my mom also didn't want to come, because she don't like him either. And she tried to warn me, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I like to make my own determination and feelings about a doctor. My own opinion about doctors. Because she didn't like my internal medicine doctor that gives my pain patches. But I actually like him and respect him. I mean, I was leery, and he had to gain my trust because we didn't hit it off right away. But it was only because I was in a state of anxiety and PTSD trigger when I met him and had my first appointment. And I'm a nervous ball of energy wreck when I meet doctors for the first time because I don't know how I'm going to get treated. But I have an open mind most of the time because I'm trying to get through my PTSD and navigate my triggers and have good coping mechanisms and behaviors so I can move forward with my health care, because I can't be stuck and frozen in fear and not trust doctors. You have to trust your doctor because your life is in their hands. And unfortunately, Celia's to the point where she trusts no doctor, period. And I keep trying to bring up the positives about the one doctor that we have in common to help give her some kind of confidence. So if you are watching this, Celia, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help you. Even though you won't see it or quite understand it yet, you will get there because I have faith in you. Even when you don't, I have faith in people even when they don't have it themselves. I'm so happy that Tammy, if you are watching this one, Tammy, you're doing amazing. I am so glad that we don't have to talk as frequently. I mean, it was never a have to talk, but I was there throughout all of everything, Tammy, and you mean a lot to me. And to be able to open up and allow me into your life in the most different of times, it is a pleasure. It is a pleasure to be wanted, to be a friend, to listen. It's nice to be able to, I couldn't relate with her in a lot of ways. You, Tammy, I couldn't, because I've never been married and I've never been through those situations. However, I can listen and I can be a friend for you. And I am glad that she's on her own path to healing, and so when she's healthier now, and so I hope to see Celia get to that point. I tried to help a friend out last December, and it didn't work out. She she could not make the right decisions. And you can't force somebody to. They had to want to do it, and they had to be ready to do it, and she wasn't. So that's that. I can't help everybody. I'm also trying not to be a people pleaser, because I'm trying to just please myself and help myself. So I'm there as much as I can be for people. And now that Tammy has her wings, and I feel like she's healthy and she's moving forward in the right direction, you know, I will still call and check in on her. And I need to make an appointment to talk with her in the next couple of days anyway. So that's at the top of my mind. But the pattern with Celia and I, we'll see where that goes. Because I still have to continue to take care of myself, and I have a boundary, and I've kept maintained that boundary so far, and I'm letting her know I'm here for you. I may not always answer the phone, I may not reply right away, but when I do, I'll at least let you know where I'm at and let you know whether I am able to communicate further in other ways. But I can't wait to go meet her. I'm going to set something up in the next week or two, because I'm excited to start this collaboration and stuff with Celia, and I can't wait to do these skits and these things, because that's all I've needed, is somebody to not only just believe in me, but to also help me create, to be funny, to bring out my silly and happy funny side, because a lot of these videos aren't super happy, but they're real, and I am authentic to who I am and to you guys. That is the most important thing for me, is being authentic. I am not faking anything. I'm not trying to glamorize this either. And so there's a fine line with social media and glamorizing all these illnesses and diseases, but there's a difference between raising awareness and doing that. So I am so not trying to glamorize anything. It is very unpleasant to have all these diseases and problems and things wrong with me. But the underlying theme of me is I'm happy, because I'm happy to learn how to navigate life like this, and I'm happy to help others learn how to navigate their life in a way that suits them. And sometimes it takes a long time, years, for me to get to know somebody to help guide them in the direction that fits them the most, and their body and their system, because everybody's different and not everybody's the same. But I just want to help try and find hope for Celia. So let's all pray for Celia. Let's get her some hope. Let's get her some wings so she can fly off and be a healthier version of herself. I believe it can be done. But I also want to help find people that are like her. So I'm trying to raise awareness through humor with the skits with Celia as moving forward in the future. So stay tuned, guys. I love you all. I gotta go to my exam. Peace out.